No?
36.
36 years?
Yes, 36 years.
When and how did you come here?
No, I was in India already. I've been in India for 46 years.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
What were you doing before that?
I was teaching in Rajgat school in Benares, Krishnamurti school.
I see.
And then I met Mahi. I didn't know about her in Europe. I have never been out of India for 46 years.
Oh, you've been in India 46 years? You
Since
never went back
July 1935, I arrived in Bombay.
So
I
what
met
was your
Ma
experience?
first in 1943.
I see. And what was your first
Well,
meeting with her?
I met her in Almora. And there was a Danish sadhu there. His name is Suren Sen. Do you know him? Sorensen. And he said, you should meet Anandamayi Ma. And so I went there once and I met her. But I was very critical, you see, so I was... Then there was no ashram in Almora. Ma was sitting outside on a cot somewhere, and I thought she looks very beautiful. And but I didn't know very much Hindi. I could speak Hindi, but not too much. And there were no books then of Ma's. There was only one book, Satvani, and that was also not available. So I thought, well, she looks very beautiful, but I was very skeptical.
You were skeptical?
Yes.
You were critical?
I was critical by nature.
When did you...
Then I met her again after several months in Benares. I was in Benares working. And then also there was no ashram in Benares. But they had chosen the plot. And there was, under a pandal, they had kirtan. And I went there with there were some Frenchmen and I went, and they said, we are going to see Anandamayi, why don't you come with us? So I said, okay. So I went there, and there was a huge, big crowd, and I was feeling very shy. Everybody looked at me because, they
looked different.
And it was two Europeans dressed in Indian dress, and I was in a European dress. So, but I couldn't get out of the crowd. And then there was the mother of one of my pupils. I was teaching in the school. She saw me and she came straight to me and she got hold of my hand and she took me straight to Ma, right there. And everybody was looking, naturally. So I couldn't do anything, I had to follow her. So then she put me right there, just like you sitting. Yeah. And then I felt something.
You did?
I felt, yes, that Ma was not ordinary. That
even though you were so critical?
Yeah, I was very critical, but I felt that there was something very special that time. And but then I said, Ma remembered me. I said, I've seen you before in Amor. Ma said, yes, I remember you.
She remembered you?
Yeah, of course. Ma remembers everything.
Yes.
She remembered me. And well, I sat for some time and I couldn't get out, there was so much crowd and there's that. So I sat for some time and then I left again. And then I had an impression then. So then I made contact with Ma, see. And I talked to her for the first time. Then this man said, don't you want to talk to me? I said, no, I have nothing to say. And then every day, he said, I'm leaving tomorrow. I said, all right. So then finally I said, every day I came, he was always there. I said, you haven't? No, but tomorrow I'm leaving. And then at last I said, all right, I will talk to her. And then I had a talk late at night with her, and he translated. And then, of course, you see, I found that she, by a few words, exploded my problem, you see.
I see.
Yeah. I asked her something and...
You were looking for a solution to a problem?
Yes, I was. And she just, it was so simple that I thought, how is it that I didn't find it out for myself? But I couldn't, you see. And then I made real contact with her. But Ma, you see, she waits. All this time she...
Till you're prepared?
She knew it, of course, but she waited. And then after I had this talk, then I had another talk the next day, next morning, and then this man left. And then I took to Ma, of course, very much.
And then you started living with her?
No, not yet.
No?
I was at school for 9 more years.
And after that you went to Ma?
No, I used to go to her very often.
Sorry.
Also, she used to be in Benares. You see, the ashram was then being built, and part of it was already built, and Ma would be in Benares 4 or 6 months in a year, at intervals, you see. And I was at school, and whenever she came, but it was 5 miles from, it was in Asigat, and my school was in Rajghat. So I went by rickshaw, and I used to go every night and stay overnight and go back in the morning. So then I saw her very much, more than now.
Yes,
yes, and then there were not so many people. No, now I don't go near at all, because, you know, there's such a crowd.
Are you able to go and see her
Not
still?
now.
No?
No, when, for instance, here in April, we could go, of course, 2-3 times a day. When she's really in seclusion, then
you do.
No.
And then when you started living with her as...
That was much later.
9 years later?
Yes, in 1954, I resigned my school work.
Sure.
And I went to, and stayed further in Benares for 2 years. And then I came to Dehradun.
I see. And then did you start traveling around with Mom?
Yes, already when I was at school, I was always with her. All my holidays, you know, in school you have 3 months, 3.5 months of holidays. Summer holidays, 2 months, I stayed with her. I went to Solan, to Almora, wherever she went.
Wherever she went, you went with her.
And then, you know, there are the holidays in between, 3 days and 8 days and so like this. And then I left school, you see, then I left because I started doing translation of Ma's words, you see. And
from Bengali to English?
Yes. I learned Bengali specially for that. That is a Ma's miracle at that age, you know, to learn.
How old are you now?
I'm 77. And so then I learned, first I learned Hindi when I came to Ma. Then I could talk to her, and she never said learn Hindi, but I felt very much, you see, that man translated well, but I wanted to know what Ma said really. So I learned Hindi all my free time. I was teaching at school whole afternoon. I used to sit over my Hindi books, and I learned Hindi. And within 1 year she called me and she said, you translate. I said, I can't, don't know enough. Yes, you know. And somehow I did it.
You did it?
Yes, and so she encouraged me. She never said learn or anything. She doesn't do that, you see. And then...
She just suggests in her own way.
And then they started this Anandvarta. They wanted, and they said, you do it. I said, no, it can't be done from Hindi. Ma's Hindi is not so, you know, Ma speaks Hindi, but it's not so good. Bengali is very, very beautiful. So then I learned Bengali.
Now, could you tell in a few words, what are your feelings about Ma, your own personal?
My feelings?
Yeah.
What can I say?
You've been with her for so long.
Yes, I've been with her for very long. It's true. Now not so much, before more, of course. But no, you see, now I don't need to go to her so much, really. Now the people crowd around her after so many years.
Received her?
Yes.
You have received her, and she's within you?
I feel that, yes, of course. And you see, when I do this work also, I feel her very much. When I do her, I do the translation, and also I edit articles about her and all this. So I'm busy with her the whole time.
You are still doing that work?
Yes.
The articles?
Yes.
And you publish
I am the editor of this magazine in English.
In English?
Yes, I'll show you a copy. I've got some here. So I am always busy. Except, of course, my own housework I do, but otherwise I do nothing else but this. So I feel, you see, that there is nobody like Ma. She's, I took to Ma after that very much. And
thank you.